About a year ago, I reviewed one of the CIGMAN lasers, and it was a pretty good laser. They contacted me recently, said they have this brand new product coming out. I was like, you know what, I've done a bunch of them, and I can quickly tell if it's a good one or not. So go ahead and send it out, and I'll take a look at it and see what we have. When I first pulled this out of the box, it was like professional. You know, nowadays, writing professional on a tool doesn't mean anything, but when I kind of picked it up and I felt this, I mean, I wouldn't say it's heavy to where it's a bad thing. It's heavy as you can tell this thing is well constructed. And so as I started taking the accessories out of the box, these things, almost every one of these lasers I've gotten has had a very similar type stand that came with it. This has to be the most heavy duty, robust one. This one also has these little arms that flip out right here to kind of stabilize it even more. You got a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom of here, which this will thread right on top of there with the same 1/4 inch thread. Now the whole system will adjust, I mean, every way imaginable. This one here brings it in and out this way. You've got this one here that moves it side to side. You got this one here that turns it around. This one that brings it up and down, and then you have the one on the side here that locks it into place. You have some super strong magnets, so if you have like steel studs in your construction or anything metal around, this will stick right to it, or you can put it in a screw hole. It did come with a little plate that you could also mount, but I've never really found those to be a whole lot useful. But this little mount right here, again, I have done, I know at least 8 of these, and probably 7, if not all 8 of them, had this type of bracket. And this has to be the most heavy duty bracket. I would not think that you would be able to break this even if you ran over it. Another thing that for a professional is it comes with 2 batteries. Now these batteries say that they last about 8 hours a piece, so that gives you 16 hours of working time. And one thing that I did check on here is there is a USB-C on the back of the machine right here. It's in this little waterproof housing. Well, not waterproof, but a little water shield resistant. And if I have no battery in, I can plug this in and the machine comes on. I can turn the power on and it functions perfect without a battery in it. If I have the battery in the machine, I can use it, you know, again, with the battery in the machine, or while the battery's in the machine, I can plug it in and you can see the, I don't know if you can see the little display right here. So it is charging the battery as I'm using the machine. So I can still use the machine plugged in and have the machine charge the battery, or each of the batteries also has a USB-C slot on them. And so I can have the one battery running the machine and I can just plug the other battery in and be charging that battery. So, I mean, the possibilities of that, there is no way you'll never have not enough power to operate this machine. And then when we go into operating the machine, this has the 2 lines for our horizontals. We've got the lower one and the upper one. This lower one is really important. I didn't think it was going to be that important, but when I was framing out and trying to do like the lower plate, you know, trying to get tile and stuff, this having that bottom laser really makes a difference. So that's one feature that many of them don't have. A lot of them just have the 3, they don't have the 4. And if you can afford it, the 4 is nice. You don't use that 4th one that often, but when you do, it comes in real handy. Now, obviously, it's got where you can turn off your horizontals, verticals. It's got 2 of each. You can run, you know, any combination that you want of the lasers. If you hit the button, I don't know if it's really showing up because this lines are so bright here, but there's actually 3 levels of brightness. And this is another thing that I have not seen on any of them, but it actually has a strobe. So I can definitely see where that strobe, especially if you're in a real bright area, sometimes it can be hard to see, especially if you're towards the end of the range. Now, this has a range of about 100 foot, but it also has a pulse mode. And they have the pulse mode in here, but they did not include, and I have not had a single one of these lasers that included the pulse little sending unit, but it's a separate little module that you would have to buy separately. And usually those will work up to about 200 foot. And something that I really like that I haven't seen on any other ones of these is, so just like on all of them, if you have a solid line, that means that it's perfectly level. Now you can lock your line, but still turn it on. And like, again, if we're running a shower, a big walk-in or something, now if we're locked, it's going to blink about every 10 or 15 seconds to let you know that we're not shooting a level line. But if you see the numbers here, this gives you, where you're at. So like if I want to do a shower, I want to make sure I've got a 2-degree pitch on my floor. I can actually come over here and set my 2-degree pitch and block this, or put it on a stand and get that at my 2 degrees. And then I know I've got that 2-degree pitch. That way I'm not going to have standing water. And again, it gives you front to back, side to side. That is just absolutely fabulous. Go back here. Now, if you push and hold the button, you see this little upside down horseshoe. That is the pulse mode. So that means that right now it's shooting out a pulse signal, whereas if you had your receiver out there, you can't see it when it's shooting out. It's just some kind of a frequency line, but the machine can pick it up, and normally they can pick up to about 200 foot away. So this machine definitely has every feature that I have seen on any of these. All right, so if you can see, way back down there at the other end of my shop is where I have that set up at. So my shop is 44 foot long. So that means that we're about 40 foot away or better. And I mean, this line is very clearly visible all the way up here, which also means that it would be clear and visible at least 40 foot the other way. So that would be 80 foot. And as clear and as visible as that is, and in my shop, I have plenty of, these are high output LEDs. So it is extremely bright in this room, brighter than in most, offices or most, any house I've ever seen. So if it's this bright of a line that easily to be seen and this bright of light, I definitely would think that this would be able to be clearly visible well over 100 foot. Now, they do have an app that you can use for this, and I have another one that has the app. I don't like having to pull my phone out every time, but it also does have this nice little remote. It's nice and smooth, easy to flip in your pocket, but yet I've got big fingers, and my finger fits in there, holds it up nice and well. You can adjust your brightness, turn on or off the individual lasers. When CIGMAN emailed me, I was really just expecting this to be another kind of remake of the same old, and wasn't expecting much different. But this is definitely a commercial grade tool. I will put a link in the description, and hopefully maybe they'll even throw in a little coupon code. So out of all the laser levels that I have reviewed, I have to say this one has the most features and feels like it is the most heavy duty. The only complaint that I have found, which I have found with every single one of these that I have been sent, was the boxes, everything fits in here exactly, and there is no room for a pulse module to go in the box. So, with mine, I like to have the pulse module. That way, if I'm outside, I'm down here in Florida in the bright sun, I can use that pulse module in the middle of the day and can still be able to find my level, 200 foot away. And, this carrying case, this is kind of like a semi-rigid. I really like this case. It's a really nice case. Got the molded high density foam here. Everything about it is super nice, but at the same time, they've used up all the room in here and don't have the pulse module. I would prefer, not to get this little extra stand. They come with a lot of them. Now this one is a little bit nicer than most of them. It's got a little non-stick pad on it, but again, this right here is going to be so much better, and it would have been a whole lot better if I had a pulse module to go in there. So be sure and check down in the description for a link to go check this out. Next time, I hope everybody has a wonderful day.